What's up, tribe? How you guys doing? Welcome back. Hit that subscribe button. I hope you like this video. This is my review for Ready to Love technically season 3 reunion part 1. So there's a part 2. This is the part 1. So first of all, let's just get to. I thought everybody looked nice. Denise, I loved Denise's hair. I loved that dress. I thought it looked nice with her complexion. Wasn't crazy about Joy's outfit or Joy's hair. Now, I'm glad she didn't come back with the whole afro. I'm glad she gave us a whole different look. I was here for that. But that velvet dress that was all the way up to the neck, and I know y'all gonna be like, but you always wear your t-shirts up to your neck. That's not me. We talking about Joy. That dress, and let me be clear, Joy is one of my favorites. And I think maybe I expected more from the dress. Maybe standing up, it was stunning. I don't know. But I just didn't do it for me, y'all. And it's no personal thing. Joy, I still like you, girl. Winter, I loved Winter's dress. I loved the strapless. I loved the boobage. I loved the color. I wasn't crazy about Alex's dress because I felt like she was giving us a little too much with the boobage. I felt like it was a lot. I felt like it was a lot. Wasn't crazy about Winter's outfit. So I guess let me take it back. Everybody looked nice. But everybody's aesthetic wasn't my personal aesthetic. I don't think anybody looked horrible. At least not from what I saw. Nobody, I was like, what the hell? You know what I'm saying? So let me take all that back. Y'all know I'm not the fashion queen anyway. I'm just going by what I remember. Let's start off with, and the guys, I thought the guys looked really nice. The guys did that. They invested in some nice stylists that put together some nice ensembles for them. I thought the guys looked nice. And as Tommy said, everybody looked like they on their way to prom. And they did, okay? So they cleaned up nice. Everybody cleaned up nice, okay? I should have just said that instead of that whole 2-minute rant about that. Anyway, we start off addressing the elephant in the room. In this case, the baby in the room. Alicia, girl, is you pregnant? Yeah, I'm pregnant. Girl, what? You, huh? And she said that she, has a bundle of joy on the way, that she's with the man. And I noticed that she was quick to talk about the man was wealthy. Nobody needed to know that. Like, either you love him or you don't. And I don't know if you had put in your application to be on the show and you found out through the process and you decided to go on the show anyway because you was like a bird in the hand might be 2 in the bush. I don't know. But I feel like you going on to a show like this knowing that not only you were pregnant with another man's baby, but it sounds like you and that man might still be together. Interesting to me. Felt it was very disingenuous, and I felt like you should have. I felt like there was a lack of integrity in that decision to continue forward with the process. Now, I don't know all the ins and outs and all the behind the scenes. You may have told production, and they was like, girl, it's COVID. You've been in quarantine. We ain't got enough time. And we ain't got enough time to find nobody to take your place. So there may very well been a reason. But just from where I'm sitting, I feel like there was a lack of integrity in that decision. And you should have been fair and gracefully bowed out of the process. That's just my opinion. That's me. Then we talked about the whole Brian situation. I mean, not Brian. What we did, but let me just stay with David. Remember, David and Alicia had the misunderstanding about the comment about the kids. Now, listen, I said in my review, and I stand by it, I was with David. I feel like you asking a question like that and getting so upset at a man's answer to say, hey, I'm not here to take care of your kids. I'm here to date you. I personally feel like if you felt like there was a misunderstanding, there was that you should have asked a clarifying question. But you ran with it. You got all the ladies riled up about it. Now, the situation with him and Joy, and him putting his finger in Joy's face, he immediately apologized for that. He said he meant no harm by that. I do think it was a situation where he was getting passionate and getting excited, and he was just like, listen. And I think they were just kind of close together. But he did apologize, and I don't think he meant any, he didn't show me anything else that would put forth any ill intent. But what he said was, Kelfani, they asked Kelfani about it. Kelfani they asked everybody, have you dated, a woman with kids or whatever? And Kelfani said yes. And I realized that, you did have to take that into consideration when you're dating a woman with kids as far as buying groceries and doing this and doing that. And Nephew Tommy was like, yeah, but you build up to that, right? Like, that's not where we start. And he was like, oh, no, that's not where we start. And David was like, that's all I was saying. All I was saying was, bruh, I just met you last week. Why are we talking about my responsibilities to your household? And I don't disagree. He was like, I date a woman with kids. I may never meet her kids if we don't, we might not get past the second date. I've never met them. And I don't disagree. And I said that the first time around. So I feel like David was able to defend himself, clear his name. And we found out that David and Alex have been hanging out, hunty. And he was like, well, we just friends. And Nephew Tommy was like, no. You sound like you want to be more than friends, and you need to go ahead and let her know that you want to be more than friends so that y'all can go ahead and figure out that whole more than friends situation. And so he asked her out on a proper date. She accepted, and that was cute. I thought it was cool. It was cute. Okay. Now let's get to Brian. Brian, on the other hand, did not redeem himself. Okay. Brian, first of all, they asked him about him and Alex. They showed the clips and stuff. And again, him sidestepping, making up words. And I forgot that you was an educational consultant. And once again, I have to ask, what the fuck does that even mean? I'm in education. I have done consulting work. But what you do? What do you do, bruh? And you own him making up words. You can't be claiming that you in education and making up words. Okay? But neither here nor there. He's still not trying to stick to nothing. He's still juking and jiving around the truth. Even when Alex said, well, I had heard that he got a whole baby out here in these streets. Which, everybody heard that rumor. And instead of him saying, no, that's not true, he said, why? Well, if it's allegedly and you don't know the truth, why would you even bring it up? And Alex was like, well, that's what the word allegedly means. Because she started off by saying, allegedly. So she was clear to be like, listen, I don't know for real. I heard this is what I heard. And so he was like, well, if you don't know, why would you bring it up? And she was like, well, that's what the word allegedly means. Because allegedly, that's what I heard. So then, after all of that, then he says, nah, that's fake news. But I feel like, that rumor has been out there. People have been saying stuff. The streets been talking. If the shit ain't true, just say, listen, I don't know how that rumor got started. Somebody said something down to the social media, and listen, y'all, I ain't got no baby. That's how you say it, because anything else makes it look like you're hiding, you're sidestepping, you double talking, and now once again, all of us are sitting here going, what? Do you have a baby? Do you not have a baby? Is it a baby coming? Is it like, we right back where we started, bruh. So that was that, child. Simone, now listen, Simone, I feel like was somewhat vindicated in this situation, because Simone said that she did the whole situation about Jay going up in Winter's room because she felt like Jay was playing them, and she wanted everybody to know that, Jay making it seem like publicly that me and him ain't really clicking and we ain't really, nothing really going down, but behind the scenes, it's a whole nother story. And I just want everybody to understand what it is and who it is and how it is. And yes, what Winter did was a little messy, and the way it went about was messy. And Simone. And Winter felt some kind of way about it because it made Winter look some kind of way. Although, let's put a pause in that one, Miss Winter. You got caught, you made a whole moment and got caught in your feelings about the fact that you felt like Simone was putting you on blast, that Jay was up in your room with no shirt on. However, as we fast forwarded to the end of this episode, and they was talking about the love square, the Joy, Winter, Edwin, Jay situation. You was midnight creeping up in Jay's room on more than one occasion. They caught you on camera going up in that man's room 2-3 times in the middle of the night. Doing the walk of shame 3-4 hours later. Now, you said y'all had a good time and that y'all had good conversations. That was the only time that y'all could really talk where the cameras weren't running. But I ain't see them show that footage to nobody else. So were you really mad that Simone exposed you, or were you mad that Simone did it on camera? Because it seemed like you and Jay was room creeping a lot. And again, you grown. If y'all was in there doing the horizontal Tootsie Roll, I don't care. You know what I'm saying? But I just felt like for you to get that upset, and it wasn't like it happened at one time and it was a misunderstanding. Girl, you was up in J Room all up and through. Now, let's get back to Simone. Simone said that she felt like Jay was sort of playing her. Like, publicly, he was playing like, oh, I don't know you like that. I ain't really rocking with you like that. It ain't really like that between us. But then privately, it was, girl, you are the sun, the moon, the stars. I don't know how God sent us such a precious gift from heaven. And they showed the footage. And so, of course, once they showed the footage, Winter and Joy was like, oh, so Simone wasn't as crazy as you tried to make us think Simone was. Simone not that crazy, huh? Because you right there, you just call her the sun, the moon, and the stars. You just did it. And so Simone was somewhat vindicated in how she was saying that, you know, she felt like that she sort of got played by Jay. And then, once again, fast forward to the end of the episode. I'm kind of all over the place, but we're back to talking about the little square situation. Jay sort of did the same thing with Winter, where Joy didn't realize that Jay and Winter's connection was as deep. When we started seeing some more of this footage and seeing some of the things that Jay was saying to Winter and some of the time they were spending together, including that nighttime creepy crawly down to the men's hallway, yeah, you realize that Winter wasn't as crazy as Jay tried to make it seem like, or as editing tried to make it seem like, that Winter had a legitimate reason to feel how she felt about the Jay situation. Okay? Now, here's the thing. We all here to find love. We are all here to figure it out. So I'm not mad at you, Jay, but it does seem like you weren't being clear in your communication with everyone. Now, whether that was by design or by happenstance, I don't know. But it seems like there was some What I need from you is understanding. Okay, Jay? Moving on. Now, Winter and Anthony, when they left the show, they sort of stopped speaking because there seemed to be some communication breakdown. Now, Winter said that Anthony is a little aggressive in his communication. That was code word for he get to yelling and I'm not the one. You're not going to raise your voice to me and you're not going to talk crazy to me. Now, Anthony, on the other hand, said, listen, I wasn't raising my voice at her. Like, she felt like the way I'm talking right now is a little too aggressive. And so it just took a lot of adjustment. And in my mind, I was like, girl, you know what? I ain't tripping. I told you I ain't never been in love before. I could walk away from a woman. Watch me walk away. But then they ran into each other somewhere out and about in them Houston streets. And they have sort of reconnected. And so I think that they are starting over or they're trying to figure it out. So I was happy to see that because, you know, I like them. Y'all know I've loved Winter. I've liked Winter from the beginning of this process. I've always liked Winter. Even though some of y'all be in my comments and y'all don't see it for her. But I like Winter. I think she's beautiful. And if y'all follow her on social media, she has a lot of events. And I really wish she did them like Zoom. I would actually go to some if they were like in a Zoom situation. But it seems like they're in person. When are we still in the pandemic? Can you do a Zoom situation so I can be there? Because she seems like she has some really nice. She had a virtual, what's some things called? Not virtual, a vision board party. Now she's doing a writer's workshop. Girl, live in Houston. Zoom. Moving on. And last but not least, of course, we talked to Joy about the process when she left with her sister and Jay's decision to leave and what that meant to her. And she said, you know, it really meant a lot to her that he did come to the service for her sister and that just meant so much to her that he would do that. And they talked about Edwin leaving, and Edwin said, you know, I understood that Jay's connection to Joy in that moment was deeper than my connection to Joy. However, I had a connection to Joy as well. And in that moment, I felt like I would have been faking it if I stayed. I wouldn't have been genuine. My mind was no longer really in the process at that point. And it was just best for me to leave. Tommy also asked Edwin in that situation, what do you think you could have done differently to maybe get a different outcome? And he said, maybe more consistency. But honestly, I think once Joy recognized some things as far as the PTSD and stuff, again, not saying that you're a bad person, but just saying that right now you might not be ready because you need to go to therapy and you really need to work through some things. And yes, you're a good guy and you're gonna make somebody a good woman. I mean, who no make somebody a good man. But you need to work through some things. So I don't know if you would have won that one anyway, Edwin. I don't know. Last but not least, though, Denise sort of got called out when Joy said she appreciated everybody's support throughout this process when she lost her sister and that whole grieving situation. But Denise, and I must have missed this. Did Denise put something out on social media, y'all? Y'all tell me in my comments. I'm gonna reach out to my girl Kamisha Reviews, and I'm gonna reach out to my girl Chloe Johnson because I need to know what Denise has said. Because maybe she said it on the show and I missed it. But either way, Denise was like, I did not make you my spokesperson. I did not okay no message. You were talking as if it was coming from me and it was not. And how about everybody did? The whole cast was like, oh, wait a minute, that wasn't from Denise? I mean, that wasn't from, like, everybody thought that whatever this message that Denise had sent out had come from Joy. And so Joy felt some kind of way about it, which she should have. Don't put words in my mouth. We're not playing those games. And Denise said, well, I wanted to channel Joy through me. And girl, you don't get to release statements on somebody's grief without talking to them and getting their permission about it. And so, of course, that was a conversation. And she did apologize to Joy. And Tommy was like, you know, your intentions may not have been malicious, but your actions were ill-advised, right? And I thought that was a nice way of putting it. But, you know, afterwards, honey, everybody was talking about it. And Andrea was like, that's narcissistic. And you know, Rashid said the same thing. Rashid was like, no, see, that's narcissistic. See, that's, okay. But anyway, y'all, that was the first part one. Part two, I guess we're going to get into the whole Kelfani, Andrea, Denise situation. Hopefully we'll talk about the Rashid, Andrea, Kelfani situation. And I would even like to hear about maybe Rashid and Winter. I mean, I know they ain't really getting to a whole lot. But anyway, I'd like to see what we talk about. Moving on, y'all let me know what y'all think. Drop it in the comments. Peace.